It's been less than 2 months here in South Africa, and already I've had the privilege of speaking at a global forum at Wits University, and have also been doing some active work with clients. And people ask me and they want to know, how do you build these relationships in Africa? Right? Like, how do you build these new relationships in a new country? And so in this video, I'm going to talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're not new, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Ashley. On my channel, Ashley in Africa, I talk about my experience moving, living, and doing business here on the continent. I currently live in Johannesburg, South Africa. And as I mentioned, not even 2 months yet. But this is my second country that I've lived in on the continent. I share my experience of love, motherhood, and entrepreneurship. And I'm also the creator of Africa Investors Academy, a membership-only community for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs and investors who are growing their businesses here on the continent and investing in projects to retire early. So if you're new, welcome, and please subscribe to the channel. If you find this content valuable, please like it and share it with someone who would find value in it as well. So let's jump in. I really want to talk about the importance of doing this, because nothing is worse than coming to a brand new country not knowing anyone. Don't do that. Don't do that. I wouldn't recommend that you do that, anywhere in the world, but specifically in Africa. Africa is a different level where you need relationships, okay? And so the importance of this is strong, right? You want to build connections with people before you're settling into that new country. And so this is not my first time being in South Africa when I made this move. I had traveled to this country 3 times before, established relationships professionally and personally to help my transition be a bit smoother. I was a bit more rogue and radical in Tanzania. However, I did have relationships. I did develop relationships before moving. And again, I had a very smooth transition. So how did I do that? Well, I'm going to tell you later on in this video, and also tell you how you can get connected in with the community that I'm building so that you can make your transition to the continent a bit easier. All right. So the importance also, you want to learn how people are doing business. You want to learn what the climate is, what the environment is, so that you can be most successful. All right. You want to connect with other strategic partners and investors if that's the road that you want to go. If you want to do some business, you want to connect with people that are in your same industry that can help to maybe guide you along the way. Maybe you'll have to consult with them. Maybe you'll have to pay them for their work, but ultimately it will save you time and energy along the way. All right. And as well as making those relationships, you absolutely want to be responsible, take accountability, and do your own market research, right? Don't rely on other people to give you the tea. You need to know what's going on by doing your own research, whether that's Google's, YouTube, or a mix of both, right? I'd say even ChatGPT got some tea. Okay, they got some information, and I've been working on some projects, and ChatGPT has been everything. So businesses, if you're not using AI in your business today, you absolutely want to do that. If you guys want a separate video on that, let me know. I'll be happy to share. All right, so how did I create and build these new relationships? Well, this was something we actually talked about in the Africa Investors Academy this past week, because as I mentioned, these are entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and investors who are building their business here on the continent. None of them have lived here before, right? And so collectively, we are building community to be able to figure out the best steps to help us build a business, identify the proper business, and strategically partner with people that can help us to grow our business, right? So one of the main things we advocate, joining social groups and clubs, right? It is one of the best ways to meet new people, whether that be in person or online, or a combination of both. I advocate for both. I am not the most extroverted person. I'm actually an introvert. I actually prefer to stay at home. And it's something that I transparently get real anxious about when I'm going to meet new people or going to be in groups. But it's something that I have to do because I am in a new place and I want to build community and I want to build relationships. So One of the things that I'm doing is, dance classes, right? I'm a piano dancing, I'm taking Afro-Latin dancing, so that I can join communities of people that like to do the same things that I like to do and move my body, and I love music. So it's something that I advocate for. That is one of the best ways to meet new people, right? And I have my notes, so that's why I'm looking down. If you're new, I have notes all the time. If you're not new, you already know. All right. Next, volunteer. So volunteering is a great way to meet new people. It's actually something that I haven't done yet, but I'll be doing next week. And I'm really excited to have that experience. It will give me an opportunity to go into some neighborhoods that I've really wanted to go into, with a community of people to support me in that space and in that journey. It's not something that I'll probably record, but maybe I'll talk about it because I know it's going to be really impactful, not only to my immersion into the South African culture, but just to help me understand the landscape, help me understand the people a lot better. And so it's something that I absolutely advocate, whether it's in your home country or in, the country that you plan to go into, whether you're doing a discovery trip or you just landed or you're preparing, you want to identify some opportunities where you can volunteer and you can immerse yourself in the culture and giving back in any capacity so that you can absolutely meet new people and build new relationships. Volunteer organizations have many different pillars where you're working with the people. You could also serve on the board. You can also work with executive directors, and you can also connect with the people that fund this nonprofit or this organization, right? So there's many ways to get involved in volunteering and many relationships to be made in that experience. Is this resonating? Is this seeping in? Is this helpful? Please be sure to like this video and share it with someone else who would find value in it, okay? So the next thing, attending community and events. And this is something that, again, like I'm getting there because I'm an introvert, right? So I like to be at home, but as I've been settling in, of course, I'm making more time to get out and do things. I've got like the art walk this weekend coming up on my itinerary, on my calendar. I've got this other event coming up on my calendar that I plan on doing. So I put a lot of things on my calendar that I don't do, but they're reminders, right, for me to get out and do them. But if you haven't migrated yet to your new country, look at those events that are happening where you are, right? There are communities of people that live abroad in the US that are having events that you can attend, and you can connect with them because they've got relationships in these countries that you have an interest in and heading to. So it can absolutely be a really huge benefit in your immersion to building and making new relationships. All right, the next thing is use social media. So this is for the introverts, okay? Because this is what I've done. This is how I've built my relationships, is through social media. Quite frankly, the people that I've hang out with the most have been people that I've met through social media. And so they're the ones that I prefer to go to these social events with. In fact, I'll link it below. I attended the first annual Johannesburg Women's Writers Festival, and that was with a fellow content creator who shares here on YouTube, who I met on my second or third trip to South Africa, to Johannesburg specifically. And she invited me to that and invites me regularly to community events. And so that's been the best way. I've also met a fellow content creator, Dr. Assad and Adrian, and maintained a relationship with them through social media. I mean, for the introverts, this is the way to go. Professional relationships, LinkedIn, hands down. Sharing content about what you do, what your mission is on a regular basis helps you to build those relationships, right? So me being on YouTube and putting myself out there and telling my story and exposing myself to the world has brought in a lot of opportunities to build these relationships. So people are willing to give me a bit more leverage because they see that I have consistency around my mission. I have a history of performance, and I've been doing the work, and I'm continuing to do the work, right? So social media has been one of the strongest ways to meet people in my new home country, right? And even when I'm traveling to other countries, it's how I'm getting invited to go to different countries. Ghana, Egypt, Somalia, where else? Ethiopia. I really plan on visiting Namibia this year, Botswana. Like, South Africa has been one of the major proof points of why it's so important to get on social media and share your story, especially as an American expat who's interested in living abroad and doing business. All right. And so the last thing I'd say is just be open. Be open, be friendly, be willing to meet people. I tend to just pop out of my house a couple times a week to coffee shops or take myself out, for lunch, and I meet so many people. I smile, I make sure that I'm not super focused on my work, that I can't smile through it, because I recognize that when I put out that positive energy, I get that back 10 times fold. I've met some serious powerhouses just hanging out at coffee shops here in South Africa. So always remember to just be open and have an open heart and be willing to talk to people, right? You never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who's gonna cross your path. And if you're looking good, feeling good, smelling good, doing good, all those vibes are gonna come back to you tenfold, all right? And so if you have an interest in building some relationships abroad because you're gonna do business, or you're gonna move your family, or you're gonna move yourself abroad, I'd love to have you in the community. Africa Investors Academy, we're growing. We're almost to 20 members in less than 3 months that we've been established. We have weekly check-ins, bi-weekly, sometimes 3 times a month events with advisors and experts on investing in real estate, technological platforms, tourism businesses, and so much more. Check the link below. I'll also pin a comment for you to easily access the link to join us in that community as you prepare to do business and journey abroad. We'd love to have you. So if this was helpful, please be sure to like it and remember to subscribe to the channel. Until the next video, I'll see you soon.